Hi and welcome to Nanny's Kitchen. I'm Nanny and I've been cooking with love for over 36 years. Here on my channel I share easy step-by-step recipes from all over the world, from the bold flavours of India and Thailand to the comfort and taste of our traditional English meals that fill your kitchen with warmth. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned home cook, you'll find simple, delicious recipes made with real ingredients and a lot of heart. So grab a cup of tea, hit the subscribe button and come and cook with me. Let's bring the world to your table, one dish at a time. Welcome to the family and welcome to Nanny's Kitchen. Hello and welcome back to Nanny's Kitchen. Tonight I've got some lamb chops that I took out the freezer and some chicken breast. So I'm going to make some little Indian picking food. So we'll have tandoori lamb chops and tandoori chicken. I'm going to do some onion pakoras and some Bombay potatoes with the leftover baby potatoes that I have. If there's anything else, as I'm going, so I've got a few tomatoes, we'll probably make a tomato, coriander and onion salad, which goes absolutely fantastic with all of them, and a little bit of mint dip with any leftover yoghurt that we have. So we'll see how far we get before I get too tired, because it is getting on, and we'll see how it goes. I will put all the ingredients for each one in the description, so if you do get a bit lost on following along, because I will be doing it quickly, is just have a little look in the description and drop me a comment and I'll guide you on your way. So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by getting a pan, so bear with me a second. So I've got a pan and I'm just going to start by getting the leftover baby potato. There's one fell on the floor. Baby potatoes that I have left over from yesterday's tea. I'm just going to pop them in a pan. I'll use about that many, because it's only for two of us, and I'll keep these ones to go with a bit salad tomorrow. So with these, this is where I always find the best way to do these, is get a chicken stock. Let's draw this up. Pop it in there. Fill your pan with your water like you would do normally and pop it on the boil. Get them cooking. Alright, so I've just filled them over. It's not hot boiling water. You can use boiling water if you want, but I prefer to let it gradually come up itself, and that will just dissolve in there and just give it a bit of flavour. I'm going to pop them on there to boil. Right, so the potatoes are on with that chicken stock cube and they're boiling away. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get the chopping board and we'll make up the marinade and everything for the lamb chops and the chicken, and we can get them sitting for a little while before we start doing everything else with the onions and stuff. So I'll just go and grab the yoghurt and stuff out of the fridge and I'll be right back. Right, so first off I'll just move everything out of the way so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Just got a load of spices and stuff out in case I needed them. So all I'm going to do now is I am just going to make up a little bit of the marinade ready for the lamb chops to go in, and I'll be pouring some in a separate bowl, which I'll pop the chicken in it and cover it as well, and we'll leave them to marinate while we do everything else. Right, so because it's the same marinade that's going in both of them, I'm just going to make it all up in one, and then I'll just pop a little bit into that bowl for the other. So I'm just going to put one. Should be enough for the cover. I have to go 4 because that chicken's a bit big. So I'll put 4 in there. And then you can see it's a nice thick one, it's a great one. But you can use any yoghurt, it doesn't matter as long as it's natural yoghurt. So with that, I'm just going to pop in some black pepper, just a sprinkle. Won't even be a quarter of a teaspoon that. Just sprinkle. And salt. Same again. Salt probably is about 1/4. Right, so I've grated 4 large cloves of garlic and a nice 2-inch chunk of ginger, because this is going to go across a few of the different bits. So into there, I'm just going to go take it. I'll add not even quite a teaspoon of garlic, and I'll do the same with the ginger. And what I'm going to do now is I have some Tandoori masala. So I'm just going to add 1, 2 level tablespoons of Tandoori masala. Right, now that is basically the mix. Just give it a good mix. You can make the tandoori masala yourself with lots of different spices. I do when I can be bothered, but when you just want a quick one, it's handy to have in. So do that. Now to get the lovely colour, because you don't get it with it. Shouldn't, but I do. I will add a tiny bit of red colouring. So I'll just get a clean spoon and I'll just get it's not even a 1/4 teaspoon of red colouring. I'll add that in. Pop my lid back on there. Give it a good mix, and you'll see it turning lovely and red, just like you get when you're from the takeaway. And then all I'll do is I'll add a little bit of oil, around about a tablespoonful. The oil I'm using at the minute is mustard oil. I like using mustard oil because these are going to go in the oven and they're going to be on a rack and they're going to be on high heat, so it can take the heat basically without burning. So 1 good tablespoon in there. Okay, and that is mustard oil. You can use any oil though. Just remember, if you do use a different type of oil, that keep an eye on them and keep turning them, because you don't want them burning. You want to get them charred but not burnt. So that is the tandoori mix done. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take some of that out and I'm just going to pop it into this bowl here for the chicken. Because then chops won't take lots. So that one's for the chicken and that one's for the chops. So I'm just going to open the chops up. I'm just going to pop them in. Pop them in. And then I'm just going to coat them. Get your hand in there, give them a good coating with the tandoori. If you've got the barbie going, these are brilliant, make them up. what I would normally do is I'd pop them in the oven on the rack, cook them so long, and then at the final bit take them off, egged, and put them on the barbecue for the last 5 minutes. And they're absolutely delicious. You get that lovely, lovely tandoor taste to them. So I'll leave them in there. I'm just going to put the lid on them, wash my hands, and I'll come back, I'll slice the chicken and get the chicken in the other one, and we'll leave them in the fridge. With these, just going to chop them into nice decent sized chunks. Put them in the bowl. Any rubbish bits, take them off like that. Don't want that because it will just be stringy all the way through. I'll slice it that way. Trim it in there. Get rid of that bit of the end. There you go. Little bit there. Get rid of them. Pop them into the bowl. And then same again. Get your hands in. Get them quartered. And then I'm just going to cover them and pop them into the fridge as well. Right, so I'll pop it in the fridge, and I'll just with the bench a bit disinfectant because obviously we've had raw chicken, and I'll move everything that we don't need, and I'll start on the slicing the onions ready for the Bombay potatoes and the onion pakoras. Right, so the potatoes are finished boiling. I've just left them in the pan, keep them warm. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to chop up some onions, and we're going to be using these for some onion pakoras. And we will need some for the Bombay potatoes. And I'll also need half an onion to do a little bit, onion and tomato and coriander to relish with a little bit of chilli. And you don't have to put chilli in, it's just I think it's nice. It's just, you kind of have all them without a little bit of salad on the side. Right, so I've sliced all the onions. I'm just going to pop them all in that tub there. I have them all resting in. I'm going to pop them all in there. And then I'm just going to break them all up best I can with my hands. There you go. I'm just going to quickly wash my hands, and then we'll pour everything in them ready. Right, so with my onion pakoras, I put a few different types of spices in, probably slightly different to what some people will put, but it works and I think it tastes really nice. So first off, I always put a chilli in, so I'm just going to slice and chop a chilli, and that'll go in there. So 1 second. Right. Not too big of a one, just a small chilli. Just now and again, if you bite it, you can get that little burst of chilli, and it's quite nice. Right, so I've chopped the chilli. I'm just going to pop the chilli in. There we go. And then into that I'm just going to add about just under a teaspoon of garlic and about half a teaspoon of fresh ginger. We want a good heaped half a teaspoon of salt. We want about just over a quarter teaspoon of black pepper. A quarter of a teaspoon of kashmiri chilli powder. And the secret ingredient of them all is some chaat masala. So for the chaat masala, if I can get it out, I'll use 1 teaspoon, nice heaped teaspoon of chaat masala. And out of my spices, I'll use a tiny, say half a teaspoon of turmeric, and the same coriander powder. Pop that there, and then all I'm going to do now is just give that a good all mix together. And the dog is trying to steal my bag. Leave me bag alone, thank you. Thank you. If you want to go and steal something, steal a flip flop. That's what you normally do. Oh, if you want to steal that, there you go. You steal that, go on then, you can have that. Right, so there you go. So all I'm going to do now that's all mixed together, is I'm going to get another teaspoon of salt. Not quite a full, just to take, you know, a normal, what you would have for sugar. It's not quite a full one, and just sprinkle it again. All I'm using this for is to mix it up. Oops. Mix it up. Now we're going to leave it for a bit. What will happen is that salt will bring out all the juice of the onion, and then once that's all come out, then we are going to add the gram flour. Right, so while they're sitting, I'm just going to get the small onion that we're going to use for our relish, and I'm just going to slice in. And then I'm just going to chop them into small little pieces. And then we'll just chop. And I'm going to give it tomato, a nice big one, nice big tomato. And I'm just going to slice them and take the goop out. I'm just gonna slice him as well. Right, so I've popped it in a bigger dish. Are you okay? Oh yeah, just breathing. I'm just giving it a good old mix up. Tomato and onion. Clean the board and stuff down just to make it a lot easier. And all I'm going to do now is just got a little bit of salt. No pepper in there, sorry. I've got to put pepper in there, but put pepper in. Just a little bit of salt for the tomatoes. And then I'm just going to get a little bit of coriander and we'll chop that up and we'll get that in it. And we're just going to squeeze it with a little bit of lemon and that's it, it's done. So I'll come back to you in a second. Right, so I've got a little bit of coriander which I've just pulled off the plant. Yeah. Just going to roll it into a little bowl. Going to slice it. I've grabbed half a lemon out of the fridge, which was left off yesterday. I'm sick of wasting food and I'm just trying to use things the best I can without having to spend a fortune. So pop that in there and then I'm just going to get that, give it a bit stir around. And I'm just going to squeeze a tiny bit of lemon in. Doesn't need a lot, just a tiny little drip. All I'm using this for is to keep the tomatoes nice and red. I don't lose the colour. And the same with the onions. They don't go like see-through. So that's that done. If you want, you can add a little bit of chilli in, which I'm going to, but you don't have to. It's basically, it's a salsa. So if you don't want to put chilli in it, don't put chilli in it if you're not a chilli person. It tastes just as nice without it. Right, and I'm just being lazy now. Rather than get a big knife out, I'm just chopping it. But it is getting late. Been to work all day, we're knackered. And halfway through doing this earlier on, as we just got past the tandoori stage with the chicken and the lamb, we had a power cut. So but we're back in the live again, so I've had to wait a little bit, we're back up and running. So that's knocked us back just a little bit. And toss my chilli in. That's it. Give it a mix. I'll pop a lid on it, pop it in the fridge, and that goes absolutely delicious with the tandoori chicken and the lamb. It's beautiful. So I'll pop a lid on. Pop it in the fridge. Right, because I've got a bit left over yoghurt, I thought while we're just waiting for the marinating, the oven's going to go on shortly, we'll get them in. I will just quickly, I've just washed that other tub out, but we'll put the tomato one in, put it in the beginning. I'm just going to make up a little bit of mint sauce as well, a bit minty to go with that salsa and the meats and stuff. So I'm just going to pop 3 bits of yoghurt in. I'll keep the rest for tomorrow. I've got some fruit in the freezer. And to that, I'm just going to add, just like I do every time, a good half a teaspoon of mint. brought some sugar over. I'm going to try, because we're going to put a bit in, I'll do 1 teaspoon first and then we'll taste it and see what we think. So I'll just give that a stir. If you want the nice green colour like you get at the takeaway, you can do what I've done with the chicken and the meat and have a little bit of food colouring if you want. Give that a little mix. I'm just going to add a little water because I don't like it too thick. So I'll just get a little cup of water every 2 seconds. I'm just going to add a little bit of water. Just mix it. Just loosen it up and take the thickness of it. Don't have to, if you like it thick, leave it like that. It doesn't just do anything to the taste, it's just what you prefer. A bit more for me. Can't feel any of the sugar granules in it now, so I'm just gonna pick it up. I'll give it a little taste. Perfect, I don't need any more salt, sugar, sorry. So, but if you do, if you think, I feel I need a bit more sugar or whatever, feel free, add it. It's all your own taste, or you want a little bit more mint sauce, totally down to you. There's no right, there's no wrong, it's just whatever you prefer and taste. But that's the basics to it. So I'll pop that in the fridge with the salsa and that'll all come out together with the meat and everything. So I'm just going to clear up, get rid of this, pop the oven on, and we will get the lamb and everything on the rack and get it in the oven. Right, so I've cleared everything away that I don't need, and I've got the potatoes here and they've been cooked. They look like dishwater, so I'm just going to drain them off now, but they'll be absolutely gorgeous taste wise. I'm going to drain them off, pop them in a bowl and pop them to one side, and then we'll start on the Bombay potatoes. The oven is on, and once it gets up to heat, then I'm going to put the Tandoori Lamb and chicken in. I'll bring it over, I'll pop it on so you can see what I'm doing before it goes in the oven, and then we'll move round and do the Bombay potatoes. So see you shortly. Right, so the oven's on, it's nearly up to heat, so I'm just going to get the Tandoori Lamb. I'm going to give it a good old move around in there again. Make sure they're chopped are absolutely smothered, and then I'm going to pop them on here. On that way. Oh. Absolutely covered. Pop them on there. Get rid of that. And I'm going to do the same with the chicken. I'm going to keep that sauce there, and then I'm going to pop them in the oven. It's now up to heat, and I will let them cook for a little bit, and when I start turning them over, I'll give them a quick rub again with a little bit of that tandoor sauce. Just move it in that way. There you go, and it's going in the oven now. Right, so the lamb chops and the chicken is in the oven. The chicken will probably take about 15 minutes. The lamb chops will probably take 20 to 25 minutes. depending on how I like them. So you can see there's quite a lot of juice come out of them. With the salt. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add some brown flour, because we're going to cook these up really nice onion pakoras. Now with this there's no right or wrong. Just excuse me 1 second. I'm just going to let the dog in. He hasn't fit. Alright, so all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add some brown flour. I'm just going to handful, and I'm just going to sprinkle it all over. This isn't something you can measure, it's something that you've got to basically get your hands in and feel for it. And I'll show you what it looks like. So we're just going to mix that in. First off, just going to disappear. Guarantee it'll disappear because of the juice that's come out of them onions. And then a handful. And do the same again. Just work it in. It's going to make this one big sticky mess. Feel it sticking to my fingers. And that is how it should look. It should stick together like a ball. You can also, that's exactly how it should look, the pakora. Right, so we are over here and I have the oil heating up. And I think we are pretty much ready. So all I'm going to do is stick my fingers in the water. Get a little bit of the pakora in your wet fingers. Before I do try it, I'm just going to drop a little bit in just to see how it sizzles. Yep, perfect. I'm going to keep it at that heat, but at this point I'm just going to slightly turn it down to just around about medium, and I'll just pop them in and get another one. Just keeping that water there, so if it gets too sticky, I'll just put my fingers in. One. Get your fingers in that. Fingers in. And then we just turn them over. Be very careful. Don't want to break them. Get rid of little turn them around. We'll let them cook. Don't overload it, don't put loads in. If you put loads in, they'll just fall apart like sloppy messes. Just don't do it. You need that fat to stay at that temperature. So once you've dropped that in and you can see it sizzling, turn it down slightly to medium heat, pop them in and let them cook. The onions will cook absolutely lovely, and they will cook right through properly. Right, so they've been cooking. I'm keeping an eye on them. I keep turning them just to make sure one side's not burning or, you know, so they're just looking good. So to me they're good now. They're perfect. So I'm going to take them out and I'm just going to stick them onto this plate so they can drain, and I'll put the next batch in. So out it come. Right, so I've popped a pan on, now doing the Bombay potatoes. I've put 2 cloves in there. All I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add a little bit of oil. I'm using mustard oil just because I think it's really nice. Gives a nice flavour. So I'm going to use probably a tablespoon and a half of mustard oil. You can use any oil that you like, but I prefer it. It's good at high heat, and this is what we want it to do. So that goes in there. And then I am going to add a half a teaspoon of cumin seeds, one cardamom pod, a small piece of cinnamon bark. I'm going to turn that down because it's getting a little bit hot. And just smoke them. Don't want to burn them, you just want to smoke them. Perfect. And then at this point I'm going to add the onion. Turn the gas down now, it's to just below medium. Get the onions going, and then we are going to add the ginger, what we had left over. Get it in there. The garlic, give it a salt, so you're basically making like a bhuna, I would say, realistically, doing a bit of a bhuna. And then we are going to, at this point, add the spices. So we want a quarter teaspoon of turmeric, quarter teaspoon of coriander powder, not even a quarter teaspoon of kashmiri chilli. Quarter teaspoon of salt, and quarter teaspoon of black pepper. These are a good mix. Now I'm going to add the potatoes. Now these potatoes have absolutely loads of flavour. What I'm going to do is I'm just squish them. I'm trying not to bag the pan, I don't like it. And then mix them all together. You can add peas, you can add veg, you can add anything you prefer, doesn't really matter. we just want the flavours at the end of the day. Chop that meat chicken. Right, now we've got them all cooking together. All I'm going to do now is I'm going to add one chilli. All I've done is I've snipped off the end, but not broke, so it's not going to be hot. It's just going to get the flavour from the chilli. I'm going to pop him in now, and I'm going to add a little bit of water. I haven't even measured or anything, I've just went and got that bowl that I add them in, put a little bit of water in, and I'm just going to pour a little bit in there. Just a tiny bit. Just a little steaming. Just to get them flavours out a bit more. Probably if you wanted to check, I would have said 2 to 3 tablespoons of water just to make them soft. And that is Bombay potatoes. All we're going to do is press them up now with a little bit of coriander, and we're done. I'm going to turn them off, plate everything off, and I will show you what it all looks like at the end together. So there you have it. We've got some tandoori lamb chops, some tandoori chicken, some Bombay potatoes, some onion pakoras, and some salad, which is tomato, onion and coriander, which is very common in India, and a little bit of mint dip. So as you can see, when we rip them apart, they are not gooey, they're just nice, lovely, tasty, crispy, very crispy, and lovely pakoras. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. I will let you know when new videos are uploaded. Please comment and let me know if there's anything you want me to show you or try, or if I haven't tried it before and I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know and I'll give it a go. You guide me, I'm quite happy with that. And if I do know, I'll tell you exactly what the secrets are and what they use and what they do in the restaurants. So feel free, drop a comment. Either way, I'm happy to do either. And till next time, happy cooking.